All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Sport webinar. Today's date is March 17th, 2018. This is also St. Patrick's Day. And the title of today's webinar is Stick with the Trend and Wait for the Retrace. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, I don't see any. We have to go through that for legal purposes. And let's go ahead and take the disclaimer down. You should be able to see a chart. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and show the same thing that I like to show a lot of webinars with, because what I want to teach everybody in here today is to see, basically, you've got to get that thrust, even if it's a small thrust. Keep in mind, small thrusts also. You have 4 trends on your charts, okay? And, you know, what you're looking for is you're looking for these thrusts and retraces, okay? Now, obviously, but for new people and things, what is the trend that we're looking at right now? Everybody should just absolutely type in downtrend, right? So, you know, I'm not even going to, I mean, you know, if somebody doesn't know that, then we probably need to start a little bit more into what defines a trend, because a downtrend is lower highs and lower lows, okay, and an uptrend is just the opposite, higher lows and higher highs, okay. Now, what I see on this chart right here, and if I got up in the morning, you know, to look at my trading chart, I see 2 types of trades here, okay. We don't know where lightning 1 is, so I'm going to draw it in just a minute, so we don't really know, but I see that, you know, if they actually were to break this area like right across here and then kiss it and roll over, that would be a trade, right? And that would more than likely be a good trade, but it would have to roll over. So I see this trade here, like so, but I also see this trade here. And actually even this one, that's a lightning 3. We'll just go with that one just for the fun of it. But I'll put another line here too, just in case. We'll basically do something like that. And then I see this trade right here. Okay, basically if it pops up, pulls back and kisses. So there's actually, isn't there 2 trades on this chart right now? You know, and by the way, looking at this particular black background and this is actually, you know, real prices and everything. But what we're looking at is 2 different ways that this is going to either happen one way or the other. Okay, or it could even go choppy as far as that goes. Okay, but that's what I see with this particular chart. Does everybody see that same exact thing? You know, even a retracement into here, obviously too, about the same spot. You know, you need to draw 2 lines on your charts as a rule, because that's going to be those little sweet spots. Let me get that one down a little bit, like that. Okay, so if I was trading this, I'd be looking for this trade, and I'd be looking for this trade where it thrusts up and pulls back, you know, into like a support area, or into a support area like this. This would be 2 boxes that I would have actually drawn. Why is PM3 green? Oh, you mean over here to the left? Oh, PM3, because we haven't even looked at lightning 1 or 2. So that's a good catch, Mindy, by the way. This is actually a downtrend, we can clearly see, but remember we're talking about it could change directions too. Power meter 1, 2, and 3 are green. So, well, let's just look and see where this thing's going. Everybody see this so far? This is what I'd be looking at on this chart. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Everybody can pause the screen or whatever if you want to see this exactly, but let's get rid of it. And let's look at lightning. Let's look at lightning 2. That's given a little bit even better picture in it. Now this is lightning 3. This is lightning 2. Now notice the same thing. By the way, if you're an aggressive trader, and keep in mind you really want to stay with the trend most of the time, but if you're a scalper, look at this: thrust, retrace, higher low. When did we know it was a higher low? When it took out this swing over here to the left. So could you actually go long on that one? And the answer is yes. But keep in mind that, you know, if this is red background and everything else, you could also get a fake too. Okay, but that's that same principle. You know, it thrusts up, it retraces into support and takes off. So in this instance right here, you have a high, you have a low, you have the same high, very close to it anyway. So this isn't really, quote, a downtrend yet, but it's also not an uptrend yet, is it, as far as breaking above? So with what we just talked about, wouldn't this be the trade you'd more than likely be looking at? Let's draw this line across here for the fun of it. And then I'm going to look at a little thrust up. And if it retraces back to that line, and it doesn't have to go that high, by the way. I'll show you different types of retraces that you'll get. Whoops, I drew the wrong one. Something like that. See, it's right on top of support, and then take off. Okay? And of course, we looked at the bottom one already just a minute ago. Everybody see that? So when does this actually change trends on this chart? Well, you do have a high right here. It didn't take this one out here, so I pretty much think that if it takes this area out right here, this is probably going to be more than likely a trend change. Everybody see that? See that swing to the left? Now this is without even seeing prices on another chart. Okay, but this is a real chart. Okay, let me stop for a second and see if there's anybody has any questions on that. Bear with me a second. I'm checking. That's lightning 3 right. So if so, why is PM3 green? Well, evidently because well, here's where it did it. See this little dot right here? It took that out. So that would be lightning 3 would be green. That would be correct. Because see, basically you have a low here, you have a high here, and it's actually taking that high out. See with those bars right there? So that's when that changed to green right there. Walter says St. Patrick's Day would love Viper because everyone gets green. Cool. All right. Now, let's go ahead and pack this aside for a minute, and I'll take all the lines off again. And I'm going to put this to the side, but we're going to watch this chart as well as the actual trading chart, okay? Let's keep an eye on both of them. So what I'm going to do, bear with me a second. I'm going to go ahead and get this beside it. Now, I'm not saying to trade this way, but I want to just show you something in like real time, especially when you can do market replay and see this in real time, what actually happens. Okay, bear with me a second. I'm almost there. All right, I got them side by side now. All right, this is the actual chart right here and here. These are both real charts, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm looking for, just like we talked about, a thrust above there and pull back and kiss, right? Now, you can do the safe way, and you can wait for it to actually literally thrust up a good 20 ticks or so and then pull back, okay? That's a real safe trade, but it also doesn't always happen, okay? Now, of course, we've already talked about the bottom. Now we can see the real bars on it. So I would also be looking for this trade. Break below, kiss back, right? like that, and then down, correct? Okay, so we've got 2 trades on our chart. Now, if you're a gutsy trader, okay, and you like to really take trades quickly, then what you can actually do is this. If this breaks above this line right here and comes back and kisses it at all, you can take that trade. Okay, but keep in mind that sometimes those are going to be fakes. This background is still red, right? But this is going to do one of those 2 trades, because we can clearly see that we got 3 green meters here. Our 4th one is still red, but that's going to have to take this out. See that? That's your lightning 4 right there. So before this one will turn green, that has to be taken out. Okay, we'll go ahead and put a white line there. And we'll go ahead and set it as default for right now. All right, everybody see that? So let's see if we can trade this. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull up our strategy. Let's see, we've got 10. I'll go ahead and put 5. And I think everything else is pretty much set. 10, 20, 30, and 40. You can actually, you know, it's defaulted at 5, 10, 15, and 20. I just doubled mine because I like to move them myself, you know, rather than having one 5 ticks away. Okay, so I've got it 5, 10, 15, and 20. So let's just see if we can get a trade on here. And we're going to be cautious on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up as either a region or a sniper line. So we're going to do, let's see here. Let's do it as sniper. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit enter. And we're going to do, that's the bottom. So we're going to do long off of it. Touch. Let's give it touch +1. And let's just see if we can get something plus a runner. And I'll start this up. And now we need another chart if we're going to actually take this break, but I'll go ahead and put another sniper line. No, I can't put a sniper line. Well, we'll just wait. If it breaks, we'll, you know what we're looking for, right? We're looking for this trade right here. If it breaks support, we're going to want it to break it, kiss it, roll, or break it, kiss it, and roll up. Okay. All right, everybody see that? So this is the trade that we're looking for right now. Now, if this was to shotgun or something, you know, we might even miss our trade, but more than likely you'll get the retrace anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this trade. Let's do 1 contract for right now. We're touch +1. Going about 30 times, so hopefully this isn't too fast. I got within, I think that's within 1. Let's try 2. We may be, oh, we're at the session end. That's what it is. I didn't turn that that part off. We'll just fire it anyway then, because that's it right there. My session is turned on. I'm going to go ahead and take that. That's a little later than I wanted it. See how that perfectly kissed that? That's your aggressive trade, okay? Now, usually as a rule, what it's going to do is it's going to thrust up, and it'll give you about 10 ticks or so usually. I'd probably put my stop right there just in case. Let's see, where would you kill it if it happened to come back? You'd use your lightning, Mindy. And see, right now, you've got a little lightning, a little thrust, retrace, thrust. So your lightning is right underneath there. Okay? Now, for the conservative trader, and this looks like this is going to break up to me, but your conservative trade is also right down here too. Okay, you want to see that? See if we can get it? We'll see if we can get it. Let's just take 10 ticks on this first one, though. We've got it set at 10 ticks. I don't care if it goes 100. Let's just see if we can get 10. See how lightning's doing here? Over here on the left chart, or the right chart. We're going to get 10. I got it going 30 times. I don't want to really speed it up any more than that. Okay, there's going to be a $100 bill, it looks like to me. Now I'd bring my stop just under that swing. Almost to break even. Okay, it looks like we got minus 10 on that because we didn't quite get in where I wanted to because my sniper didn't fire. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to region. I'm going to put a region in. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to put it touch plus, let's just go ahead and do touch plus 2 because we don't know if it's going to come down all the way to here, but see, that's where it broke out. See the little consolidation patch? So if we're going to get this, it should be right here. Everybody see that? Because what I was talking about, look over here to the left, see what is that, 316.90? That's that swing right there, right? So shouldn't it come and kiss that swing? Let's see if it does. I'm going to speed it up again a little bit. See if we can get it. Now you could also turn this on. It looks to me like if it did break this, we could head up also, but we really want to kiss this swing because when they do it with that little bitty one, that's for the guy that wants, the guy or gal that wants the trade for the thrust. The pullback trader, okay. Now notice we got our trade. We're long 2. Okay. We would try to get profit at this top here and then we'd move this target out of the way. Okay, I would probably turn on this one here if it breaks out of the upper part of this to add one, simply because, see, that's another lightning swing. See it right here to the left? See how I just did that? And notice that my target is still up here. It's 2 of them. And now we're up a little bit. See there? Okay. Everybody see that? Now, if you remember on Friday, I called a gold short because I wasn't up at 2:14 in the morning, but I was up at about 6 in the morning. Now, wouldn't you just let this trade pretty much ride? You know, put your stop underneath here, exit on close. You know, that's your swing, high, low, higher, high. You'll get your little micro swings too. See how that perfectly kissed over here? This is real time as far as that goes. This is gonna crawl with these prices. Okay. Now I've got lightning 2 on. You can put lightning 1 on, but it's going to be really, you know, just pretty much following the 4 range bars. Okay. We've got 2 on still, right? Let's look to the left to trade the right. I've got a swing right over here. I could actually turn that back on and add one. See it right there, that swing? And we just got it. And I would probably put my stop underneath that swing, even though it's not taken out the left yet, simply because I don't want to give too much of this back. And you could even turn on like bar close to give an example. Like let's say if it doesn't take out this swing where I can really tighten this stop. If it takes this out, then we should be okay, right? Now on this particular way to trade, how many of you trade this way where you watch for these little thrusts and retraces? Because you remember, was it Russell on Friday that was sideways? I'm going to show you how to trade that also, because remember, we just basically said it just kept scalping. It just scalped, it scalped. And scalping can still make you money. Because money is the whole key to it. You know, like for instance, you know, I think Charles is going to do a webinar on Thursday that's going to be how to make $500 in an hour. Well, that first hour that we trade in the morning is pretty much where you can do that. Dan says he catches trades like this, but then sometimes gets out too soon. Well, the one thing about, now granted, you know, with 3 in, with this acting like this, I might want to take one off, but since I've been talking, I guess we won't, but I'm going to trust this swing anyway. But if you can ever ride, you know, a trade, you know, for instance, just watch your P&L, you know, see that's like 360, that's 390. You know, if it comes back in the box or something, you can take one off if you wanted to. But keep in mind that as long as the lightning continues heading up, that these three could even make me a very, very good trade because I've got my stop in. Now, granted, I would lose some, but I've already taken some profit too. But if this does pull back into here, I will lose quite a bit of this. Okay? So I'd probably want to take one off maybe, unless it just keeps stair-stepping up. And watch your lightning here. Coming down a little bit. Just barely got that top, didn't we? But if we're going to head up, what's the rule of thumb? It has to have higher lows. That's a high, a low, and a higher high. It closed above it, so that's an identified swing. See how it held? So could I probably bring it up to break even by now? More than likely. Because this swing is identified right here, right? This swing is not identified here until it takes out that top. If it takes out that top, then this swing's identified. Everybody see that? Let's see if you did a bar close short for one. It'll take just one off. You want to see that, Dan? I'll do that for you. Bar close will take off one if a bar closes down. That way we're not giving up all our money. See, like that, just took one off. Now, I usually like to ride two if at all possible, though, because to me, even if I give back most of this, what if I get a run? I mean, is lightning heading up so far? And the answer is yes, right? So do I really want to give up this trade so far? And the answer is no, right? Let's look to the left to trade the right. Let's see this whole chart. Well, there's a big resistance area right up here. That's a long ways up, though. That's a big resistance area right there. So I would probably put a target out of the way. I'd take one off up in here for sure, because that's big time resistance. Okay? And trade just like that. Everybody see that? Now my swing is right here, but it just barely closed above here. So that is an identified swing. The chart, is this normal? Let's see, Mike, on your questions. Yes, let's see. When I try to get the lightning lines on by undoing the hotkeys, Alt for Viper 1, I see no change on the charts. Is this normal? No, you'll see change on the chart. Let me draw lightning 1 over here on this side. I'll take lightning 2 off, and I'll put lightning 1 on instead. It's going to be a little faster, obviously. See there? But see over here to the left, you've got a high, you have a low, you have a higher high. You have a higher high over here. So isn't this your identified lightning swing on one? And if it's real close to another swing that's close by, I call that my secondary swing. See how beautifully that's doing? Now watch and see if we don't. Watch your lightning over here. I'm going to go back to lightning 2 because it's a little bit cleaner. Let's go to lightning 2. I went to lightning. Bear with me a second. There we go. All right. There's lightning 2. All right. So lightning 2, let's see the identified swing. High, low, higher, high. So this is your identified swing on Lightning 2. That's down there a ways. Okay, see we've got our stop a lot tighter than that. So let's use Lightning 1. And turn off Lightning 2. All right, where's our swing that's identified? Pretty much right here and even here. Now it's for sure even here. See that? 318.20. See, where's that at? 318.20. Right in through here. See how that kicks the P&L up? By trusting Lightning. Because Lightning identified is the most important thing you're going to trade. Because each time these bip up like this, notice even here, for instance, when it came down and barely took that out. I'll show you right here. See, more than likely that just wicked that. So that's still a Lightning swing. Okay, now this one did take out. Like if you were actually trading Lightning 1, you would have been stopped out under here. Everybody see that? Okay, but more than likely that was the one that actually came down and kissed right on top of here. See it? Wow, look at this thing go. Now judging by, whoa, what did I do there? Let me fix it. There we go. Judging by what we have here, okay, looking at Lightning 1, you've got a secondary swing here. You got a primary swing here. If you trust the secondary, you can usually stay in a trade a long time. Now granted, that's given up some. That's 20 ticks. But I can tell you this, that most times when you utilize this particular method, you'll stay in a trade a good long time. Now, Lightning 1, for instance, this is secondary. If this pops up here, this will be secondary. See your high, your low, your higher high, higher low, not a higher high yet. Hadn't taken out this swing. If it does, this will be your new, took it down a little bit, just kissing. Now it popped up, popped down a little bit. We'll watch it in real time and see what it does. There it's popped up again. So this I would consider to be my swing right now. It did get a high, a low, a lower high, and a little bit lower low, but it just kissed on top of the swing, didn't it, so far? Let's see what it'll do. Let's see, how do you know which Lightning to fire up in regards to whatever your current trade is at the time? Well, Lewis, on your question now, Lightning, keep doing that. Lightning is simply, basically, it's zigzagging, okay? It's basically going with these prices. Now, what you don't want to do on Lightning is if you ever get those thrusts where like 15 bars go straight up, well, then you don't have a swing that's within like even 30 ticks. You see what I mean? So what you do in a case like that, then you start using the, the mid-band line 5 or something like that on a long. Okay, like I did the other day. I think I did it on one of the trades we called on Friday. Okay, see how this is a little sloppy right here? All right, now if you want to really ride this thing for the gusto, you could actually put your stop under here, but that's way down there. Now, I might do that if I just had one, okay, because this is not really identifying what I consider Lightning. It did come down to support, though, right there. Now, see, it's trying. It did take out this swing here to the left, so you could pretty much say this is now your new support level, close to it anyway. Let's see if it'll hold. And then that should pop up. It is on this side. There you go. All right, this is your new swing right there. See it take out all this junk? Okay, so why does that do that? Okay, so if I was looking at this chart in real time, and we are, right? Okay, let's say you walked in the room right now and you said, you know what? I don't know where to take the trade because they've already thrusted, right? Okay, so diagnose your chart just exactly like we did earlier. Okay, now this is an identified swing right under here for sure because it's the low part of it. There's a high, a little higher, and this is, keep in mind, this is your lightning 1, so it's a little bit more erratic. But as it does its thing, you'll notice that it actually held the secondary swing. Okay, so what I like to personally do is look, let's say that I got up and was looking at this right now. All right, I would be looking for two types of things. I would be wanting them to thrust up and pull back into this area right here, right? And they already did it, see there? Okay, or I would be looking at this also. If they do decide to break, why did I take a let me get rid of that. I'll get rid of this. Grabbing the wrong thing. Well, look at that. It hit our target exactly. Okay, let's do this. Let's do it two ways. All right, we're going to look. We just hit resistance, by the way. Why is that doing that? It's got to be me on doing something here. All right, let's see if we can get into another trade. You want to? We'll see if we can bounce off of like support, to give an example. This is like a little support area right across here. Right? This would be your swing right across there. Looks like it's going to get us. If I only had one in, I probably would have waited for that because I see another trade setting up here. Let's see if we can get it. I think I just missed it because it was on top of that predictor. Yep, I missed it. I'll take it for 10. We'll just try it for 10. I'm going to tighten that stop though. See if we can get 10. If we do, we do, and if we don't, we don't. Because that came a little lower than my top, didn't it? If this pops up above this little swing, I'm going to tighten that stop. That way I'm not going to lose much on this at all. See that little lightning swing it just made, trying to make? If that bar closes, this will be a lightning swing. Got a swing right across there, they're checking. Yeah, I'm going to tighten it right across there. See, I'm only risking 2 ticks, so that would cost me 20 bucks. Plus maybe a trade, a little bit of slippage. Okay, now let's diagnose this just like we did earlier because this looks like this is starting to kind of give up. We'll see if it pops up, but let's diagnose this. Let's go with our lightning 3 again. I'm going to get rid of lightning 1. We're going to get rid of all the lines. We're going to look at, sorry about that. Linda's just now home. Dog always goes nuts. Just one sec. Okay, let's see what she came on in, so I think we're good to go. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see if we can figure this one out. That's our lightning 3. Lightning is actually long, but keep in mind we literally hit major resistance over here. See there? Major resistance. And the overall trend has been down. That hit major resistance. Now, I'd probably be more than likely looking for an area to short this, but simply because it hit resistance and everything. But let's just do it exactly the way we teach it. So let's look to the left, trade to right. I'll go ahead and do this right here. All right, so we have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high. So this is actually my identified lightning swing right here. Everybody sees that? Now, if that actually bounces off that, I'd put my stop nice and tight. Everybody see why I did that? Because it came right down to support. Oh, just one sec, sorry. See where I drew the line for support? I went ahead and took a little trade. Looks like it's going to work too. I put a nice tight stop on it just in case. And we got a target. Now, by the way, if you want to just simply scalp around, you can also do that. Because when they've thrust like this is when you want to start scalping. You know, this could go to the moon, but isn't it right now in this little channel, so to speak? Because it's already hit a high. It's got a low established, so this is pretty much a channel now. Okay? That's support. Now, notice that this is just right around mid-band. Okay? And if you remember the gold trade that I called on Friday, this is getting close to our time, 7:28 or so. Does anybody remember a little trade that was called in the room on Friday? Because it was called live. We waited for it to break, didn't we? We waited for it to break support. I got this going like 20 times. And if this breaks support, what do you think more than likely is going to happen to this trade? See how it's breaking support? That's actually like your, not lightning 3, but it is a good support level. Notice that each one of these was heading up before. Now you've got a high, you have a low, you have a lower high and a lower low. Okay. And we actually boxed this little area when this did a little bitty thrust down. And you'll see exactly how I did it. I'm gonna do a region because this is exactly the way I took this trade. And I said box it in. Remember? And we did a little region. I'm going to stop this a little bit so it goes normal speed. Okay? Notice how this little box underneath, and you think, wow, wait a minute, couldn't this be actually a continuation of the trend? Yes, it could bounce off this. That's correct. But remember, this was at the opening of the market. So what we simply did was this. We drew a little region. We put it up at resistance just in case it decided to go up. And we did this. So we could have expected this to go either way, right? Absolutely, either way. And this is the way we boxed it on Friday. Okay, I think we even boxed a little tighter, but you know, we were actually on that little 8 o'clock. But this is the way you would box it. If this was to decide to break up, it should close above this little box here that it's trying to form. And I usually give it at least to break resistance on the left. Okay, because so far it has broken support, hadn't it? And this was trending upward until it breaks this. Even though this is blue here, this is still breaking support. Now, could it actually just do like a phantom? In other words, it's just breaking micro or secondary, but couldn't it actually hold for like an overall trend? Yes. Okay. But you can actually short these even when they set up like this, because that's definitely a good support area. And we actually took this little trade right there. Remember that? And we moved our target out of the way. And we just wrote our trade. And I don't know if anybody remembers that trade, but it just went straight to town. Okay? And that's exactly the way it was diagnosed in real time in the room. Okay? At the opening of the market, at this 8 o'clock time when oil, this is my time, by the way, but when oil opens up in the morning, you're pretty much looking for just good box type trades. Okay, and same thing with when the regular market opens at 8:30 also. Would you kill it if it turned around and came at mid-band? Well, Mindy, on your question, what I would do is the way I do every trade that I take. Let's follow lightning and let's look at it on the other chart. So we have a swing here that's identified. We have a swing here that's identified. Let's just watch this. Watch your lightning. I'm not even going to move stops or anything. We're basically watching this right here. Now this is lightning 2. Let's go ahead and change this to lightning 1 because that's actually moving pretty quick. And let's remove lightning 2. There we go. All right, see your swing? If it rolls over, it'll give another one. You know, lightning is predicated on little swings. Let's watch it and see. See, this isn't going to draw until this actually goes up and then rolls. Now watch when it'll do it. Takes out lightning to the left. It should do it. There it's up to the top. See what it does here. Not identified, is it? Right here where my cursor's at. Not identified still. If it takes out the low, this will be your new identified swing. We're drawing lightning 3 too. I'll go ahead and turn that off. Now obviously, isn't that your new swing now? Now remember, lightning draws later than you'll see on the prices, but you can actually follow your prices and still see it also. Okay? See, like I see this little swing right across here as pretty much where I want to keep my stop. Everybody see that? Now if this breaks, this will be your new one. But not yet. Let's go ahead and get our targets out of the way. That's one gold shotgun, by the way, right there. And I would stop it out, obviously. When you shotgun, this is one thing that I want to teach everybody today also. If you shotgun like that on gold, believe me, you're going to give it back if you don't just literally hit the trigger. Okay? Because what happens when they do that, you know, there's an awful lot of orders that are, you know, after that are taking that long. Now, you remember a trade that we called in the room on this one here? This was called at, we were just in the room about 15 minutes. Where's the trade on this chart? Anybody? Aggressive trade is right there. Okay? Conservative trade is actually more down here when it takes that swing out. Okay? Aggressive trade is a 1, 2, 3 reversal. And what we're looking for, let me just go over here just a second. What we're looking for on that is an up candle, a down candle, and then you want to take out that little wick. Okay? That's what we want on that type of a tight box. Now, if you want a looser box, what you do is you put it pretty much under here. Okay? Now, does anybody see any reason to go long on this yet? Because I don't. The reason is because if you looked at your low, your high, and just thrust down, this hasn't even identified. This is your identified swing right across here or even here. Everybody see that? Because you took out that low with a vengeance. So that is your identified swing. Now on the right-hand side, you are starting to stair step up, obviously, because it kind of shotgunned and then took it off. So you could have taken the trade out, but it was too fast. It basically shotgunned and it was in your face in a heartbeat. Okay. So now everybody see that bar closed upward, that bar. So you can just simply move your box like that. And that's going to be still your bar reversal, or you can just leave it where it was with the 3-bar reversal. Candle up, candle down, breaks it. And see, that broke it, but it didn't close. Everybody see that? Okay, and it just depends on, how aggressive you are. I wouldn't be aggressive with 3 contracts. I'd usually be aggressive with 1, just in case this decides to blow up. We don't know it. But by what I've taught already today, does everybody see that if we were to head up on this, what would we need to do? Well, first we'd need a thrust and a retrace, a higher low, break resistance, and come back and kiss it, right? I must have erased my region. I did, didn't I? Let's see if I can get it back. Let me speed this up about 10, 15 times. And usually what I like to personally do is then if it broke this little swing right across here, I would actually add one. See where the swing is over here to the left? And you can move region in real time. See, like that? And if you want any more at all, just simply wait for a little retrace and then take another one. See how I did that right there? You can move region, or you can just simply hit sell if you wanted to too. We called that trade in the room yesterday. And by the way, it turned out to be a very, very good trade. Does everybody see what I'm trying to teach here today? Real easy to see it. If it seems tougher to see it on your chart that you're trading, just practice even after the room closes, to give an example. I missed that. It came right to my resistance. I wanted to add one. That's all right. Exactly what I was teaching, though. It thrust down and it came back and kissed, didn't it? Take one off if we want. Or what could we do if we want, guys and gals? We could ride lightning. Because isn't 2 better than 1 if this thing decides to keep dropping? Well, obviously the answer to that is yes, right? That might be a little double bottom. We'll see. That's probably too tight. We'll see. If it takes out the low, we'll be okay. Looks like it's trying to take it out. I'd probably loosen that just a little bit, though, simply because this is not identifying the swing yet. Your swing is way up here, and I don't want to really give them that. But you could. If you want to really try to ride for the gusto type trades, now it's pretty much, see, it took out the left. So your stop would be just right across that top. Like so. If you really learn to do this particular way of trading, I think you'll find that not only can you get some really good P&Ls, but you can also stay in a trade, for like a gusto. Now, when they finally thrust, and this looks like this is getting, closer to being over, but as long as it ratchets down, we're going to stick with the trade. And if it takes us out, we'd go again. Everybody see that? Now, remember, we actually, on Friday, this little trade right here, Charles and I didn't go ahead and take. But everybody see where you can box this in? You want to see if we can get it in real time? Let's just watch for a little 1, 2, 3 reversal. Got a candle up, candle down. Let's just do it like that. And we'll do it, see if we can get something. 1, 2, 3 reversal. And if you're a little bit more conservative, you would actually put your trade here. You could actually do this too. You can do 1. If it breaks my little 1, 2, 3 reversal, and then I'd simply move this down here to get another one. So let's see if we can get it. And usually I do. Well, we're in one. And then I'd bring this one down here. May miss that one because it's already out of the box. If it closes, I'll take it anyway. It's back in, so that should, if it closes out, it should fire it. Especially if that bar closes up, it will. There, we got it anyway. Everybody see that? So that's a way to actually take, you know, the 1. Of course, this would have been over here if I'd have been talking at the right time. See your little candle up, candle down, and it took out the low. So you could be in 1 there. Then you could be in 1, you know, when it went up, down, and took it out again, and then you could take the little swing too. So you could technically be in 3 contracts on even that trade right there if you wanted to. Okay, and obviously your stop would be right there. Okay. Let's see, would you pull your stop? Oh yeah, always, you know, get your stop with the lightning. That's what I'm trying to teach as much as I can today. Okay. Now, real quick before we wrap, and we're getting really close because I got that party coming here in just a bit. Let's look at Russell. And what I want to show everybody is more how to trade when you can see that you're in a channel. Okay. Bear with me a second. I'm going to load a Russell chart. Okay, it's loaded. All right. Now, what I like to look at, and Charles teaches quite well on this too. You know, if you get up in the morning and it's already done this, draw you a line like so, and draw you a line like so. Okay? Because this is well before we even got up. We're not up at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And watch this thing as it trades like that. See how it comes up near that top, comes back down to the bottom, barely takes out the bottom, comes back up. That's that choppy stuff that is just mind-numbing is what it is. You know, it's almost irritating. But if you stick with the trend of the colors and everything, okay, you would simply, you know, do your little 1, 2, 3 rollover here, and if that didn't work, obviously, then, you know, get out of the trade quickly, okay? But your trade was way up here. You know, there's a phantom trade. There's a little bounce trade off of a low, okay? Here's some predictors, 10 tick. There's a 10 tick trade. Let's see here. A little sloppy through here, but it did come up to resistance areas and roll over. But, you know, another thing you can do on this type of trading too is if you see this has happened overnight like this. Did everybody notice that this actually broke up above that, just like we talked about earlier, and came back and kissed that same area right there? Later on, as far as that goes. But this is the type of stuff right here that hurts most people. But if you see that you're in a channel like this from way earlier, see, this is actually before we ever opened the room. So you knew you were in this channel, because even at 8 o'clock when I opened the regular oil room, it was right here. Okay. About 8 o'clock in the morning. So you were just in this channel. So the best way to do that is buy those lows, sell the highs, look at the overall trend. And the overall trend was thrust retrace. So you were actually in an uptrend. And even though this was totally sideways, you simply buy these support areas and you sell it after a few ticks. Otherwise, look for this trade that is absolutely trending like crazy. Okay? Because even this trade right here will finally go into consolidation. But your best trade, like let's say for instance that I wasn't even in this trade right now, I would be looking for one of two ways to trade this. It would break and it would kiss, okay, or it would break and it would kiss. And you want to see real quick what I'm talking about? We'll just close this out and I'm going to go to 500 times. I want to show you something. We won't be able to trade it, but I want to show you. See how it kissed? So that could have been a little short. Now what would it take to change this to a long trade? Anybody? What about a thrust and a kiss? So you got resistance right across here. I'll draw the line where it'll actually change trends if it does. See your low, high. Okay, it hadn't changed. Uh-oh, there it's changing. Changed, didn't it? Now watch it. It'll come back, more than likely, into my line. I'm going to try it. That's good enough for me. That's close enough. See it come right down to my line. I'm going to buy one more if it pops up. And there you just got your trade. Thrust, retrace. See how it came perfectly right to where I wanted it. Okay, didn't it do it here too? See, we had a little swing, came down. Where did we say that this would change trends if it was to decide to break up? You always got to look at your thrust, retrace, thrust. Technically, it didn't change till it takes out lightning 3, but look how beautifully it came into mid-band. We've got people that make all kinds of money just waiting for this little trade right here. That actually came down perfectly to another area that I pretty much wanted. Let's put our stop nice and tight just in case. We're getting close to the bell. Yeah, that's the bell. See that? That's the end of the day right there. So let me ask a quick question. If Monday morning instead of Sunday night was your trade, by what I've just taught today, where's your next trade on this chart? Right? Or this trade, wait for it to break even more, a little bit more conservative, and then come back and kiss. And then take off. Your trade's also right here though, right? Breaking, kissing resistance, and rolling over, or this trade. Breaks good, a lot more than, just like a good thrust. Now, I'm not saying these errors are exact, but what I'm showing here is these little ones and then a little bit larger. Because this type of trading will make you all kinds of money. Okay? Because you've got resistance right here, right? But when it becomes support, when it pops up above it, it'll become support and you take the trade for like a scalp or whatever. But when it thrusts up and actually pulls back into this area after a nice thrust, that's going to be your run. Or this is going to be break. Remember how we box in near mid-bands and things? We're watching for these little areas. And then it kisses resistance and it doesn't take it back out. And then it rolls over. Or this trade that takes, 10, 15 ticks down, retraces right back into resistance, turns our background red and rolls over. Okay? That's what I wanted to teach today so that you can see that there's always both sides of the trade. Okay? And always watch for either way it decides to go. Because just like with this gold earlier, if you would have been woken up at this time right here, to give an example, well, like right here, okay, I would have been looking for this trade here, like this, break, come back and kiss and take off, or I'd be looking for this trade right here, break, kiss, roll over. And what did it do? See there? That's why this trade was called, and it wasn't after or anything. We drew a box right there, and even Charles said, wow, that was a heck of an entry. It was a heck of an entry, but it was also based on exactly the way we teach this. All right. It was recorded. Thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And it's right at 11. And here in about 30 minutes, we got 30, 40 people coming. All right. Anybody have any final questions before I wrap? Will we send the recording? George, I think, I'll tell you what, I'll try to get that up on the webinar site. You're on trial, right? Yeah, I'll get it up on the webinar site after the party. And just say sometime this evening, you'll be able to look for it. And the member part, I'll try to get it up within the next 20 minutes. Okay, thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Learn to trade like this and it'll make a world of difference in your trading, okay? And you'll see with our backgrounds and everything, it certainly helps because we knew this was a trend change right here, didn't we? So couldn't we take that trade where I just popped the little buy button? Absolutely. The website recording, George, I'll show you. Bear with me one second. You go to vipertradingsystems.com. Let me get our website up here. Okay. Here's our website, vipertradingsystems.com, and you just go to the webinar link. Click on webinars. And webinar recordings come up. And this is one that was done last Monday that taught quite a bit about using regions and everything. And I'll try to get Charles's and mine from today up by this afternoon after the party. For members, though, I promise you I'll have this up on your site within about 25, 30 minutes. Okay, the other I'll get uploaded, George, for you for this afternoon, not a problem. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day, and we will do this in the room on Monday. Learn to see this. It'll make a world of difference in your trading. Okay? All right, thanks everyone.